Alright guys, so check this out. We are back in the garage and I have the car upside down here on our rotisserie. If you remember, we made that in the past couple episodes. Well, throughout the week I've been grinding all the seam sealer off. So if you look, there's no seam sealer on the car anymore. I've got rid of hopefully all of it, or as much as I could. And the reason I did that was so that I can actually stitch weld this. And the reason we're stitch welding it is to stiffen up the chassis. So a lot of pro cars and a lot of rally cars, and I don't know if time attack cars do it or not, but a lot of cars stitch weld the chassis because if you look at these seams, they're just spot welded. So maybe we can get in here a little bit. Let me just give you a little adjustment there. See a spot weld, spot weld, spot weld, and they're all spot welded down. And over time, with the amount of force that these cars now take, these spot welds can actually just kind of like rip apart. So to make your car last a little bit longer, you can stitch weld the whole car and at the same time make it a lot stiffer. So it was horrible getting all this seam sealer off. And now that it's off though, we can start another horrible process of actually stitch welding it and putting tiny little welds every, I don't know, inch or so, and just welding along all these seams throughout the whole car. And when we're done, we'll have a car that's outrageously stiff compared to a stock one. So the first thing we're going to do is flip this back sideways. I got to clean up all this seam sealer dust that's around. You can kind of see it piled up in all the corners, so I'm going to vacuum all that up. And I'm going to get to stitch welding. Actually welded sheet metal this thin with a MIG welder, and from all the other videos I've watched, basically the goal is to go hot and fast, especially when stitch welding a car, so you don't burn through. So I'm going to look at what Miller recommends for the settings, and then I'm just going to kind of turn it up or down, whether I need to or not. And I guess if you could see these stitch welds, you should probably mark them out. Put some marks on here that are like, every 1 inch, every 3 inches or something like that. Since you can't actually see this part of the car, when it's in operation, and nobody's ever going to see these welds, I don't think I'm going to measure them all out. I think the goal of doing this like this is speed, and I'm just going to kind of do like 1 inch every 2 inches. So if you look at where the spot welds are, we kind of want to hit in between there. And we want to hit, maybe I will mark them out. I'll mark them out first because I'm going to start welding like one is going to be really long and the next one's going to be really short. They're going to be all messed up. I'm going to mark them out. marked out kind of 1 inch every 2 inches to put some welds on. And we're probably going to skip around a little bit, kind of maybe do this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, to keep the heat down in those areas, because we don't want to warp the car at all. We don't want to warp any of the sheet metal. So I'm going to try not to burn through it. I'm going to use Miller's recommended settings at first and try to go very fast from there. But you know, we really don't want to burn through the sheet metal. I wish I had some sheet metal to practice on before I just went for it, but I don't, so we're going for it. I've marked out the frame rails. I've marked out the transmission tunnel. This frame rail here, and also the transmission tunnel in the back of the floor here. So we're going to see how this goes right in the middle of the car first. And if it goes poorly, then I'll probably switch to just spot welds. So you see a lot of cars, like Forsberg's car, Papadakis' cars, they're just going to like spot weld it. And then you see rally cars like from Vermont Sports Car or whatever, they are stitch welded. So I think there's probably 2 different ways to do it. It's probably harder to do it this way. I just want to try it. And you know, maybe I'll switch the other way. Alright, we got our first stitch done. I'll take you guys over here. So we got our first, there's kind of not a lot of light in there. Got our first stitch weld done right there. That's how I hope it's going to go. So actually I'm going to run it a little hotter and a little faster and try to skate down this. So for our first shot, we didn't do so bad. You know, ideally, we'd like them all to look pretty hot. But, you know, I don't think that's that bad. We kind of started burning through at the end, so this sheet metal over here, I had to pulse it a little bit, but, you know, it's stitched. It looks pretty all right. But I wouldn't want that on the inside of the car. So we're gonna go ahead and do that about 500 more times. Alright guys, well I'm going to keep doing this. I'll update you guys in the next video on how it went, how it looks. It's coming along pretty good right now. I'm getting the technique down. Hot and fast is really good for these thin portions. But for these portions down here where there's some seam sealer in between or something else kind of gluing it together, I'm kind of laying down one bead and then welding across the seam sealer like that to kind of burn it out and getting into the floor. So I'm going to keep going on this. And in the next video, this should be completely done, and I'll update you guys then. If you like this type of content, please consider subscribing. Like this video if you like it, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.